So you've heard of a blue moon, but have you ever heard of a black moon? This incredibly rare celestial event is occurring on December 30th or 31st, 2024, depending on where in the world you are located. This is the second new moon in the month, and this only occurs every 2 to 3 years. There are several other instances where a moon is referred to as a black moon, but this is the particular type of black moon that we're going to be covering and exploring in this video today. This is a powerful portal of change, really catapulting us into the new year. And it is a powerful opportunity to set intentions for the trajectory that we would like our energy and our soul to follow as we move into 2025 and beyond. We've been talking about on this channel for quite some time this idea of 2024 as a quantum leap year through consciousness, being that 2024 was and is technically a leap year, and all of the different connotations of what that means. We have switched onto a very powerful new timeline. And we have been in this process as we've been moving through the 12-12-12-21 gateway of energy, of recalibrating to this highest timeline. Now with the second new moon of the month occurring right at the very end of 2024, bringing us right into the 1-1 portal on January 1st, this incredible opportunity to focus on what it is that we've been manifesting, what it is that we are wanting to create. The full moon was very much an energy of release, of letting go. We've been moving through a powerful Mercury retrograde, which completed on that full moon. And we are actually going to see Chiron's retrograde complete and Chiron station or stand still in the sky relative to our position on Earth during this black moon. So there is a powerful potential for healing here, for moving through this process of releasing and into this process of integrating this new identity, these new light codes that have been streaming through, and really channeling all that energy and all that potential and all of the deep realizations and shifts that we may have been experiencing during the end, all of 2024 really, but especially the end where we had that Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, and really utilizing all of that and allowing that to coalesce into a plan moving forward. This new moon, this black moon, is in the sign of Capricorn, occurring at 9 degrees of Capricorn. So there's this powerful energy here of forward-focused energy. Capricorn is the energy that represents our maturity, right? It is the final earth sign ruled by Saturn, ruling that 10th house in the astrological chart. This is the energy that rules where we're going, what we want to accomplish, what type of mark we want to leave on the world. So there is a powerful energy here that is allowing for us to create those plans, to create that, the way Spirit's putting it to me right now, is the rough draft as we move forward here. And of course, we are in a co-creation process with Spirit, ideally, with our higher self. That's why we say the rough draft. There's still room for edits. There's still room for revisions. There's still the ability to throw out complete chapters if we find that they are not resonating or aligning for us. But it is really crucial, Spirit is saying, for us to have some idea of what it is that we're aiming for, where it is that we are wanting to go, what it is that we are wanting to experience and express moving forward. And this doesn't have to be necessarily in the traditional Capricornian sense of, you know, the 5-year plan, the 10-year plan, anything like that. This can simply be an awareness of the energy we want to experience, an awareness of the type of connections, the type of feelings and emotions, the fulfillment, the level of alignment that we wish to achieve with our higher selves, the level of spiritual growth that we are wanting to call in. So we can create this rough draft, so to speak, in very rough terms. It does not have to be clearly defined, although if you are able to clearly define some aspects of it, that is going to be extremely powerful. And Spirit's saying it's not as hard as it may seem. You have been given glimpses into your higher timelines, even if you don't necessarily recognize that that's what they have been. You have been given nudges by your higher self trying to show you where to invest your energy, where to put your focus. You have been receiving little inspirations as you've been moving through 2024, little ideas for perhaps new projects you want to undertake, different habits and routines that you're wanting to create that are going to support you mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. All of those things are tied into the fruition of this timeline for you. So pay attention and recognize where you're being guided and simply take action around that. And Spirit's saying also allow yourself to dream. Capricorn is the energy that does not believe in the glass ceiling. Right? There is no limitation. This sea goat can climb up and up and up. Right? Think about the mountain goat scaling a mountain. The mountain goat gets to the top of that mountain every single time. And the mountain goat does not even necessarily, and maybe I'm making this up, I guess I don't really know, but my understanding of the energy of the mountain goat is that once one mountain has been climbed and that peak or pinnacle has been reached, the goat knows that there's another mountain to climb. And the goat is always looking for that next mountain to climb because that is in its very nature. And so Spirit's saying, do not put limits on your dreams. This is the time to dream big. This is the time to simply ask your soul to show you what those dreams and ideas and possibilities for your life are, and to be open to the ways that those dreams are ready to manifest. This new moon has some very interesting aspects and astrological energies going on. So we're going to discuss those energies as well as what they mean and what we can do with this energy, how we can really capitalize upon this momentum. Now, the sun and the moon, conjunct as they always are during a new moon, are in essentially a loose T-square with the nodes, which are currently at 1 degree of Aries and 1 degree of Libra, respectively. That north node at 1 degree of Aries, that south node at 1 degree of Libra. And the nodes are getting ready to switch signs. And interestingly enough, as we're tying this black moon into the 1-1 portal, as it is sort of the opening energy that moves us through that gateway that initiates the new year, at least as far as the Gregorian calendar goes. We also have on 1/11, the nodes switching, north node into Pisces, south node into Virgo. So we're seeing this powerful gateway, and there's a real activation and initiation energy that we're experiencing with this nodal shift. As we move through 2025, and we're going to get more into this in future videos, there's a real emphasis on this energy of the transition from Pisces into Aries energy and the ways that we are clearing out and continuing to heal these Piscean themes and step into the higher vibration of these Pisces energies, while at the same time releasing the lower manifestations of that energy that include primarily the victim perpetrator syndrome or the victim perpetrator cycle, as well as these ideas of powerlessness. So we see as we're moving into this Aries energy with Neptune entering Aries, with Saturn entering Aries in 2025, but then retrograding back into Pisces, this sort of back and forth energy. And the nodes, to me, moving from Aries into Pisces really represent a stabilizing force. That north node is going to keep calling us back to that higher energy of Pisces, to that higher vibration of Pisces energy, which is all about understanding that we live within an illusion, that perhaps everything that we perceive is consciousness and is some level of illusion. But the fact that we can, once we understand that, begin to play with that illusion, be able to begin to craft that illusion to our benefit in order to experience that which we wish to experience. It also reminds us of the oneness principle, this understanding that we are all interconnected, that this is essentially a giant web of light where we are each points or sparks of light that create this beautiful sacred geometry, this beautiful hologram of light. and the understanding of that interconnectedness, what that means, the powerful impact that each of us has upon the other simply by existing within this web together, and the ways that we can collectively come together to lift our consciousness and to lift each other up. And that ties directly in with this empowering energy of Aries. Now, I know that this is a little bit out of the realm of the black moon itself, but it's all interconnected, like we said, and the nodes are playing a powerful piece within this new moon, at this black moon, as we are essentially integrating some of these final insights and understandings of that nodal journey through Aries and Libra. The sun and the moon being in this T-square with these nodes, meaning the north node is squaring the sun and the moon, and the south node is squaring the sun and the moon as well. And they are always opposite each other, the north and the south node. So there's this tug of war here between the old and the new, what we need to release so that we can be prepared for what it is that we are stepping into. And there's this real call with that north node in Aries of stepping into and embracing our power, embracing our leadership, embracing that sense of healthy risk, that sense of healthy adventure, that courage, that confidence. Our masculine energy is really going through a process of revision here, as we have Mars, the planet that represents our masculine energy, currently in retrograde. And Mars is very active in a really gorgeous aspect during this black moon as well. Mars is still in a loose opposition to Pluto, Mars being retrograde in the sign of Leo, and Pluto, of course, being at that 0 degree of Aquarius point. So during this particular moon, we have Mars now at 2 degrees of Leo, within 2 degrees of that exact opposition with Pluto. And we've described this in previous videos as this energy of the lower or human will kind of coming into synergy with the higher will, the soul's will, represented by Pluto. So there's a bit of a power struggle going on here that can be sort of reflected or mirrored by the power struggle that we talked about with the nodes, right? The north node representing where we're going, the south node representing where we've been, and that struggle of hanging on. So there is something wanting to be dislodged here. There's perhaps some type of ego identity, some type of ego construct, something that our human wants, but our higher self is wanting us to see it from a higher perspective, or to perhaps revise that and understand that there is something deeper that is crystallizing within us, a deeper drive, a deeper desire that is actually going to fulfill us in ways that that original desire cannot. So that original desire is experiencing an upgrade here. We're getting first a deeper understanding of why it is that we wanted that thing in the first place, or why it is that we're so attached to that thing. The acquisition of that thing. That thing could also represent an aspect of ourselves, something that we've used to identify ourselves, something that we've perhaps used to falsely pump ourselves up to create a sense of bravado that is perhaps not earned and therefore not really solid and not something that we can continue to build upon. I'm really feeling this strongly for some of us. It's like this idea of ourselves, or this thing that we do, or this thing that we focus our energy on, whether it's acquiring money, whether it's acquiring partners, right? It could be many different things, status. But we're looking at that and we're getting a deeper understanding of like, what does that really give us? And what does that, like, there's this real revision process going on right now, collectively, where we're looking at what true status is and what should, I suppose you could say, for lack of a better word here, earn somebody real status, right? We're looking at spiritual status as opposed to societal status. We're looking at who it is that we give status. And by status, I just mean people look up to these certain people. These are like the barometers that we judge people's accomplishment by. This is sort of like the celebrities and the institutions that are given this status. right? The certain jobs that people hold that supposedly have a certain amount of status. And we're really looking at like, what does that really mean? And this is all part of Uranus and Taurus as well. This shifting in the values and ideals of what matters to us. So there's this idea of perhaps the new status is a pure heart. Perhaps the new status is somebody who is focused on improving and growing. Somebody who is focused on the betterment, not only of themselves, but of the collective. Perhaps, and this is Pluto and Aquarius energy as well, those Aquarian themes. So there's a real shift of that. And there's a real shift of what makes us feel important in our own eyes. And what it is that we might be grasping onto for that false sense of security, where we're being called to find a deeper and truer sense of stability and security within ourselves. So that's an energy that we're working through here. And just like we said, all the ways that that lower will is being harmonized with that higher will. Now, what's interesting here is that while we have Pluto and Mars connected here, we also have the nodes once more connected with Pluto and Mars right now. The nodes, of course, opposite each other as they always are, but also in a situation where they are creating trines and sextiles with Pluto and Mars. So this is essentially, I believe, what is a mystic rectangle is what they call this connection. So we have these two oppositions, and then we have this rectangle being created around them with sextiles and trines, which are beautiful supporting aspects. So this is where the nodes are coming in again, and they're helping in this conversation. They're helping with this transformation. They're assisting us in moving forward into that beautiful, empowered Aries energy, that energy that says, I'm ready to take a risk on myself. I'm willing to gamble in the sense of gambling on myself, gambling on the possibility, gambling on the potential. And this can be really scary for a lot of people, right? But there's like, you know, the form of gambling that we think about when we hear the word gamble, which is like going to the casino, and you might hit it big. You'll most likely than not, because unless you are really keyed into your manifestation and you know that you are lucky, you know that you are a winner. There are people like that. This is the energy that we all strive to cultivate and that will behoove us moving forward. But we'll just say, for the sake of this video and that type of gambling, you know the old phrase, the house always wins. So there's that type of gambling. But then there's also the gambling where you see a potential in yourself and you bet on yourself. And this is a much stronger type of gamble because there are no outer forces involved in this situation. It is just you and your belief in yourself and your willingness and ability to apply those Capricornian energies as well, those Saturnian energies of perseverance, determination, hard work, focus, in order to achieve whatever it is that you set out to achieve for yourself. So there's a really beautiful energy here where we are being asked to take a gamble on ourselves. But Spirit is calling me back, this is so interesting, to the gambling analogy. And Spirit's just saying in general, there's a really powerful lesson there that we just touched upon when this energy of luck, right? So we can cultivate that energy of luck within ourselves, knowing, of course, that it's not really luck if we are calling in and commanding that energy. But we'll use the word luck for lack of a better word, because a lot of people, the word lucky, it gets a certain energy flowing within you when you hear that word, right? So that's what we want to cultivate. We want to cultivate this winner's mindset. We want to cultivate this energy within us that sees ourselves as somebody who wins, sees ourselves as somebody who is lucky, and sees ourselves as the exception to that societally agreed upon rule that the house always wins. So in this analogy, in this situation, we are all being called to step into the energy where we own that energy for ourselves and we say, I always win, in the sense that the universe is conspiring in my favor. Things always work out for me. I have within me everything that it takes in order to succeed. I am successful. So it's really working with these powerhouse affirmations and really cultivating that and bringing that into our daily awareness, bringing that into our daily conversation. beginning to shift the way that we see ourselves and the way that we see our own interaction with the world. This brings us back to Mercury and the Mercury retrograde we just had in Sagittarius. During this particular black moon, we have a sextile going on with Saturn at 14 degrees of Pisces. And Saturn is still involved in a T-square with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, as well as Mercury in Sagittarius. So this T-square we've been talking about for a while. We talked about it throughout the Mercury retrograde video. We've talked about it in some other videos. This has been a loose T-square coming in and out of focus here for quite some time, and it's been working with us to shift some of our belief systems, to shift our perspective, to open us up to new potentials and new possibilities, and to really help us in unwinding some of those limitations that we have placed upon ourselves. And really taking ownership of that idea, because even if it is a societal programming, we have taken that on. We may have taken it on when we were really young, when we were a child, when we were in some ways defenseless, right? Because up until 7 years of age, we are essentially constantly in the theta brainwave, just being programmed by the experiences that we've had and really the belief systems of others. But when we get to a certain point in our lives, we then have a choice. Do I choose to continue to accept this as my reality, or do I choose to discard this and let it go? Something that's been really interesting within the Mercury retrograde, and still within this connection that we're having here with this T-square, which is connected to the sun and the moon here, as the sun and the moon are connected to Saturn. So really tying them into this whole energy, which it is creating this beautiful gateway, being also very close to the great attractor. Mercury at this point is at 18 degrees of Sagittarius, I believe. I want to check my notes just to make sure here. Yeah, 18 degrees of Sag. The great attractor is 14 degrees, but this is one of the most powerful and expansive points in space. So there's an orb here, and we are feeling Mercury is still channeling through that energy. Mercury's been activated by the great attractor multiple times as it has been going through its retrograde. We had the sun and Mercury come into conjunction with the great attractor. I want to say that was on December 5th. There was a little mini video that I did on this because it was such a powerful potential for creation, for manifesting, for attracting, becoming magnetic. Think of the word, the great attractor, to our desires, to the timelines and the energies that are most aligned for us. And so Mercury's still serving up that energy, so to speak, and transmitting this energy out into this T-square. Jupiter and Gemini is honestly even closer. So it would be sort of I believe they would call it like the anti-vertex or the anti-point to this energy, being directly opposite. And Jupiter is actually at 13 degrees of Gemini, so only 1 degree away from that exact opposition to the great attractor. So the great attractor is feeding energy out to Jupiter as well. And Saturn being in a square to the great attractor, and Saturn exactly square the great attractor, actually at 14 degrees of Pisces. So they're all connecting in with this point in space. And it is bringing through this really powerful opportunity to work on a quantum level with these belief systems and really unwind them with this karma and unwind these karmic entanglements, so to speak. Entanglements with these belief systems, with this programming, with our own traumas and our own karmic cycles, with the karma of nations, the karma of our ancestors, our familial karma. There's so much that has an opportunity to be unwound here. And Spirit is saying, we don't have to do anything super complex. I've shared in multiple videos and some of the live streams that I've been learning how to work on this on the Akashic records, on the quantum field. And if any of you have been intrigued by that, as I've been saying it, there's a book, it's called A Radical Approach to the Akashic Records. That's where I'm learning this. So you can be utilizing a modality like that, but Spirit's saying all you need to do is just sit down in meditation, be present in this energy, and set that intention to allow this to unwind, to allow yourself to be shown what you need to see, to feel what you need to feel, to forgive, to release, to heal, to let this go. and to begin to allow these belief systems to unwind as well, and to set those powerful affirmations for what you are calling in, not just in the form of the outer things, but how you feel about yourself, how you see and view yourself and the world. This is an opportunity, Spirit saying, to completely reconceptualize the relationship that you have with your world. Like, feel into how big that is for a second. This is an opportunity for a complete reset of the way that we view ourselves in our world and interact with our world and ourselves. And this is setting us up. This is having us sitting pretty as we're moving into 2025, where these energies, these solar flares, this electromagnetic energy, all of these astrological alignments, everything that's going on is serving us in really working and operating on that quantum level more and more, and continuing to really be able to shift realities, to shift into higher frequencies so incredibly quickly. And yes, we can shift into lower frequencies just as quickly, right? This energy moves the same backward, forward, up, down. However, it really moves in spirals, but however you want to look at it, right? Just know that as quickly as we can shift into a lower consciousness, we can shift back into a higher consciousness too. Nothing is static. Everything is constantly in flux, in movement. So simply surrender to that flow, to that movement, but have that vision. Be cultivating this deeper relationship, this more joyful, this more optimistic and positive relationship with the universe and with yourself, within that universe, within that web of creation that we talked about, that beautiful energetic hologram of creation. And some really, really powerful and magical things can happen for you moving forward from 2025 and beyond. And I wanted to mention as well, when we're talking about the nodes here, we're also talking about Neptune, because Neptune is in the final degrees of Pisces. Neptune actually squaring the galactic center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, which is another big point in this energy. And of course, as Mercury continues to move forward in direct motion, Mercury will hit that galactic center as well. And the sun, as I'm doing this video, is probably right around the galactic center right now, because it is in those final degrees of Sagittarius. On the 21st, on the winter solstice, we are going to be moving into Capricorn season. So in the days before the winter solstice, which is right around when I'm recording this video, we have the sun tracing over those points of the galactic center. The galactic center, a similar energy to the great attractor, although the galactic center more involved with timelines and this energy of the Akashic records. It really helps us to tap into that. So this is why we're just naturally tapping into that energy when we sit in meditation. We don't need a fancy practice or meditation. We just need that intention and that openness of spirit, that openness within the heart center. If we can achieve that, we can really step forward into a beautiful energy here. And let me know, anybody watching this video, I'm going to be releasing this a little bit before the black moon so that people have an opportunity to prepare for this energy. Let me know if you would be interested in doing a live call where we really tap into this energy together. I could set up an event like that if people were interested in doing that. And it would be like 11:11 or something like that. And we could all get together and sit in meditation in that open heart space. And I could guide everyone through a process of releasing and unwinding some of this energy. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below. Let me feel into anything else. Oh yeah, we also want to talk about Black Moon Lilith, because Black Moon Lilith is during this black moon, perfectly enough, right? She is in loose conjunction to the south node, and loose is a relative term. As they are 5 degrees apart, we got Black Moon Lilith at 6 degrees of Libra. We got the south node at 1 degree of Libra. And Black Moon Lilith, as she's been connected to the south node in Libra for quite some time. She has an erratic orbit, of course, being the wild feminine. It's the dark feminine, right? As the black moon is the dark moon, it's perfect that we have her working in these energies. So anywhere where we have had the south node action, so when we're talking about this mystic rectangle here, when we're talking about the T-square with the sun, the moon, and the nodes, we have Neptune also, because she's connected to that north node in that out of sign conjunction. And we've been talking about how Neptune and the North Node are really trading and melding energies, and they're going to be passing the torch to each other as we have Neptune move into Aries and the North Node move into Pisces, right? Switching the signs. And we're going to get more into that in later videos. So we have that action every time we're talking about the North Node. And we have the Black Moon Lilith energy every time we're talking about that South Node. Black Moon Lilith here has really been radicalizing and assisting in rewriting, and she's not the only one doing this. Go check out the Mars retrograde video if you want to know the different ways that the Mars, the masculine energy, is being sort of revised and activated by the feminine and all the aspects of the feminine, the moon, the black moon, Venus. All right, there's a lot going on here, but this all is part of a larger story of us resetting and rewriting the relational templates between the masculine and the feminine, and really also about the feminine learning how to embrace her wildness, learning how to step into and own this Lilith energy, the sides of her that society has caused her to cast aside within her own being, or the ways that she has been afraid to express herself because of situations in the past where she was cast aside, where she was cast out, where she was perhaps quite literally harmed. In the story of Lilith, her children are actually murdered. There are horrible things that happen to her simply as a result of not wanting to cater to Adam, to bow down to Adam, to be less than him, wanting to be his equal. All right, so there's a lot of energies that we're working through here. Black Moon Lilith is really calling us to express those different sides of ourselves, to stop being so socially acceptable, to stop being so pleasing to others in a way that is displeasing to ourselves, to honor ourselves by honoring our truth and honoring all the beautiful wild ways that our energy, particularly our feminine energy, wants to express itself. So this is a big energy and another beautiful theme that we're working through, not just with this black moon, but in general as we are moving forward here. It's all about taking those energies, taking that wildness and seeing how does that translate into the world today? How does that translate into real quote unquote life, right? How can I honor this aspect of myself in a way that is constructive and healing, right? Because Black Moon Lilith's energy can sort of lean towards the more destructive a lot of times, toward more of that vengeful, rebellious energy that essentially does like that rebellion for the sake of rebellion and that energy of vengeance. Like we don't want to tap into that energy necessarily. We want to tap more into all the ways that we can reclaim that energy and use it productively, use it constructively. This is definitely a reclaiming of the feminine sexual energy as well, and the ways that we work with that energy, the ways that we understand that energy and raise that to a higher vibration. So there's a lot of really beautiful, powerful things going on all through this chart for the black moon. But what I really want to impress upon people when we're working with this energy is that this is essentially a massive portal. The black moon, think about, we're talking about the great attractor, we're talking about the galactic center. We also have Pluto squaring the Shapley attractor, which is actually the most massive point in space. The Shapley attractor is the point in space around which all other black holes, all other galaxies rotate and are drawn into. All right, so it's a big one. And that energy at 2 degrees of Scorpio is very much about revealing the true intentions and motivations. It's where the secrets get revealed. It's where true power coalesces. And we examine and understand how we work with that power and how we express that power. So there's a lot here where we're tapping into our power on multiple levels. And we're really beginning to understand, like, what do I do with all of this power? Going back before we pull a couple cards here for the moon, I want to talk a little bit more about Chiron, because Chiron stationing direct during this black moon is huge. Chiron, the wounded healer, the planet or the asteroid or dwarf planet that represents our deepest core wounds that never fully heal, but that bring us along and initiate the healing journey that leads us to our greatest success, our greatest fulfillment, and our greatest purpose in the ways that we're able to give back and be of service to others. The healing that we do that benefits the collective. And in Aries, this has been working with those themes. Aries energy, right? Keeps coming up. Been working with those themes of empowerment. Everything that we just talked about with that Aries energy and with our masculine energy. So Chiron, stationing direct, means that Chiron is standing still, just beaming its energy at us as we're moving through this portal from December 30th to January 1st. And really, honestly, all the way through the 11th, right? Because the 1-1 gateway, 1-1 to 111. When, of course, on 111, then we have the switching of the nodes, right? The passing of the part one of the passing of the torch between Neptune and the North Node here. So Chiron is also in a sextile to Mercury and a trine to Jupiter retrograde. So once again, Mercury and Jupiter coming back in here. This energy of the great attractor coming back in here, helping us, just simply facilitating this deep healing on a cellular level, on a quantum level, where we're able to look at whatever journey we've been going through. When it comes to our empowerment, when it comes to our will, when it comes to our masculine energy, how we utilize that. And being able to release and get a deeper clearing on a quantum level of whatever those wounds are that we've discovered within ourselves that have prevented us from stepping into our empowerment, that have prevented us from going after what we want, that have affected our relationship with our own masculine energy. And we see our relationship with our own masculine energy by looking at our relationship to what we would determine as masculines in the world. So beings who embody that masculine essence. A lot of times this would be men, right? But it could be anyone who carries a strong masculine essence. So we can see it in our relationship to our fathers, our relationship to other masculine figures. This, how we react to them, how we perceive them more. And I know that this is a generalizing term, but this is how these energies work, right? Is like the general view that we have of the masculine is a reflection of the general view that we have of our own masculine energy and vice versa. So that's a good way to kind of judge where you're at, the barometer of where you're at with your own masculine energy. When you hear the word masculine, what does that make you think of, right? What instantly comes to mind? What do you feel in your body? Ooh, and that's what Spirit's saying too, is if my right ear just popped. If you want to work with healing your masculine energy during this black moon, and we really need to, because our masculine energy, this is the protector. This is the energy that creates the boundaries, that creates the structure that allows the feminine to create. This is the energy that goes out and gets it. So if you really want to move forward in 2025 and accomplish some things and step into that Capricorn, Saturn, 10th house energy of the mark you want to leave on the world, of the impact that you want to have. There's a better way to say that. If you want to have an impact on this world, an impact on your own life, you have to be on good terms with your masculine energy or it ain't going to happen. So think about that. Utilize that in meditation. Call upon the word masculine, the word man even. What comes through for you? Where do you feel that energy in your body? And what energy do you feel? And if you feel tension, if you feel anger, if you feel like that righteous, self-righteous anger, if you feel unsafe, if you feel anxiety, where does that exist in your body? And bring love to that. Bring awareness to that and bring love to that. Bring love light to that. And allow that energy to unwind naturally. All right. I think that's all we need to talk about here. We're going to pull a couple cards to close this. And they are, of course, going to be, oh, ha, ha, ha. Spirit's like, no, you're not using the Moonology deck today because you have the Black Moon astrology cards. So this is what we're going to pull from to sort of complete this energy here today. This is honestly my favorite astrology deck, I think. Highly recommend for people. I like the Astro Star codes as well, but this is a really great one. And the cards do come, I don't know why I'm like doing an unboxing for people right now, but for anyone who's interested, I always wish that people told me about the cards they're using. The cards are actually much bigger than this. I actually cut out the picture and got rid of the frame clear around it. It also made them easier to shuffle and hold. So just a pro tip for anyone who's interested in exploring this deck. So let's tap into this. What final guidance do we have for this black moon? What energies does Spirit want us to be aware of as we are navigating this energy? We've got the earth element stability coming out. So really stabilizing and grounding our energy. Remember, this is the black moon, the new moon in Capricorn. So we are working very powerfully with that grounding, stabilizing energy. Mercury is saying there's going to be so much energy pumping through during this portal, sort of carrying us through this portal. So first of all, allow it to carry you. You don't have to force anything. Right? We've been talking about sort of one of the unbalanced ways that masculine energy works is to be forceful. We don't have to be forceful. Just allow yourself to be pushed or pulled through this gateway with as little resistance as possible. Right? We've got a very active Neptune. During this time, allow Neptune to melt away that resistance for you. But Spirit's also saying, ground your energy in. Right? Practice grounding principles. Work with grounding crystals. I'm seeing black crystals. All right? Black crystals, brown crystals, red crystals. Going to be very helpful. Also blue. So it's like the grounding and then the connecting upward here. But ground in that energy. Connect with the earth. Know that like this black moon is all about what it is that you're wanting to manifest and create. That's going to allow for this real powerful stability within the earth realms, earthly realms, the physical material realm. And it's saying like some people, there's a lot of stability coming in for you in a financial sense, in a material sense, in the physical world, through the inspirations that you're getting, through what it is, even more importantly than what you're doing, it's what you're releasing that's allowing for this. And we have the water element. So this is bringing in that emotion, bringing that feminine energy in, having that balance here. I mean, technically speaking, the earth element is considered feminine as well. But I really, Capricorn energy to me feels very masculine. So take that for what you will. This is also our intuition activating, letting our intuition be our guide. Working with water to cleanse and clear us during this time. Salt baths, we talk about that all the time. This is also that feeling into our bodies, being in touch with the communication we're receiving from our bodies, and also just drinking lots of water. Ooh, we have Jupiter and Sagittarius coming out here. All right, we have Mercury in Sagittarius, we have Jupiter in Gemini. All right. But Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. So this is uber Jupiterian energy. This is blessings. This is good fortune. This is insight, wisdom being gained here. The abundance that comes through the wisdom and the shifts in perspective. The releasing of, it's like the letting go of the blinders. And we talked about this energy of dogma. And the Mercury retrograde and everything that's been going, that T-square with Saturn and Jupiter. And how it's been all about, for many of us, releasing that dogma, the ways that we have grown and awakened, and then stunted our own continued growth by clinging on to our new belief systems. Right? Any belief system is a system. It is a limitation. So it's great. This, you know what this is reminding me of is the movie Dogma. I don't know if any of you, I was a huge fan of View Askew and Kevin Smith movies. When I was younger, I still love Kevin Smith, and Dogma is my favorite of all the movies that he ever did. And in that movie, Chris Rock has a little spiel where he's talking, and he says, it's great to have an idea, but it can be dangerous to have a belief. Because ideas can change, ideas can grow and evolve. And I can't remember, I've seen that movie so many times, but it's been many years. I can't remember the exact speech that he gave, but that's the idea. Look that up. See if you can find a clip of that or something, some of you on YouTube, where Chris Rock gives that speech about the difference between beliefs and ideas. And any of you, let me know if you are also a Kevin Smith fan. Oh my God, the movies that he put out, they would never be allowed today, right? With the political correctness that we have now, that kind of humor. But oh, he was fantastic. Him and Jason Mewes, and oh, just good stuff. Good stuff. All right, what else do we have here? So it's about exchanging your beliefs for ideas and allowing those ideas to continue to grow and evolve, to be in flux. Remember, energy is always moving. The toroidosphere, the torus, is always spiraling energies. Our DNA spirals. Everything is a spiral. It is in constant movement, constriction, expansion. All right, but it's never static, and a belief becomes static. And yeah, it's really great to have certain beliefs like I am lucky, I am abundant. We're not discounting that. But at the same time, like, understand where and how this energy is applicable. Where do those beliefs become limiting, and how can we release ourselves from that limitation and open ourselves up to new ideas? Then we have Gemini. So we got the Sagittarius, the Jupiter, and the Gemini energy coming out here, along with the solar eclipse revolution. And I love that. And I also want to say, before I get going on these cards, I want to say too that something I found really fascinating is we have this moon happening at 9 degrees of Capricorn. The next Mercury retrograde is going to begin at 9 degrees of Aries. So in a squaring energy to where this new moon happened, and that's going to be in, I believe it's February. I'm actually going to check for you guys now, for all of us. I wrote down all the major astrological energies that are going to be ongoing. And now, why am I not being able to find it here? Here we go. For 2025, to kind of get a head start on all of this here. So it is on, is it March? Yes, March. So Mercury enters Aries on the 3-3 portal. Mercury retrograde begins on the 15th of March at 9 degrees of Aries. All right, and then Mercury stations direct on April 7th at 26 degrees of Pisces, so 1 degree away from where Neptune is right now, and in an exact square. Or no, Mercury or Neptune's in an exact square to the great attractor, or the galactic center right now, but still within 1 degree square to the galactic center. So that's going to be big right there. And what else do we have going on here? And then we also, at the end of the year, have, I mentioned it in the Sagittarius end of year video that should be coming out. It might be out by the time I release this video, that we also have another Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius at the very end of 2025. And that's going to start at 6 degrees of Sag, where this last Mercury retrograde we just had completed. So there's a lot. Mercury's really working with us continually as we move through 2025 here. And Gemini is, of course, ruled by Mercury. So there's this powerful revolution in thought here, right? The great solar eclipse card is called revolution. A revolution in thoughts, a revolution in ideas. There is so much powerful change. This is card number 44. And this is card number 15, which is interesting because Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, stationed direct on the 15th during that full moon in Gemini. So a realization, perhaps a revolution in your thinking, in your perception that really began to crystallize, or you had a powerful point of release around that full moon in Gemini. And now that's going to continue moving forward here. Building upon that, there's a huge, powerful and potent shift. And the sun represents our masculine energy, all right? So our will, our focus, where it is that we're going. This is like a breaking apart of the limiting constructs of the mind. What's on the bottom of the deck here as we've been talking? Mercury retrograde, reinvention. This is the opportunity. This is a powerful jumping off point for how we want to reinvent ourselves, reinvent our reality. And as we said earlier, our relationship to our reality moving forward. All right, we're going to get one final card here. Oh, we had Saturn. So we got the whole crew here, right? We got Jupiter, we got Saturn, we got Mercury with the Gemini card here and the retrograde. All right, so that T-square, so important. And remember, there's one final square. So this black moon is occurring how many days after? The 24th, 12/24/24 is when the second of those 3 opening squares between Jupiter and Saturn, opening squares meaning in the cycle that began when Jupiter and Saturn were conjunct at 0 degrees of Aquarius in 2020. So we're seeing on 12/20 or 12/21/2020. So we're seeing this evolution of that energy. The third opening square, because there's 3 of them, because these planets are going retrograde and direct, right? So they're both going to be direct, I believe, during this third square in June. And that's going to be with Saturn at 1 degree of Aries, and with Jupiter at 1 degree of Cancer. So going back into that Aries energy, touching base within new energies. So this is the final of those opening squares where we have Saturn in Pisces and we have Jupiter in Gemini. That energy just coming through, the importance of that. And remember, what are those energies? Those opening squares are check-in points along this journey of this new Earth timeline, seeing how we are aligned collectively and individual with that highest ascension timeline, with that 5D, 560 timeline. All right, so Spirit just really wanting to emphasize the importance of that, the importance of paying attention to what's going on within your world, how you are being shown what's in alignment and what is not in alignment with this higher reality, this higher timeline that you are calibrating towards, or you are already aligned with, but now it's like we're releasing the density, we're releasing the belief systems, we're releasing the cellular trauma, the karma that keeps us tied to that lower timeline that is not in alignment with the higher timeline that we're moving into. We are quite literally, even our brains, the pathways within our brains are rewiring themselves in order to be in alignment with these new belief systems, these new ways of viewing ourselves and the world. So there's a lot happening here. Our inner reality, our energetic, vibrational reality, everything is realigning to ultimately bring us through to that realignment in our physical world. So Spirit really wants me to emphasize as we're closing this today, if you are feeling energetically and vibrationally like you're in tune with this higher timeline, but you're not seeing it manifesting yet in the physical, just hang on. Keep doing the releasing, keep letting go of those beliefs, keep transforming those beliefs into ideas, right? Keep working with the affirmations, keep working with the releasing of the karma. Just keep doing what you're naturally doing and have patience and know that it will come. You are becoming the vibrational match to that. It is happening. Okay, and I need that message just as much as anyone else. So to close, we're actually going to pull one card from the Moonology manifestation deck. And then we're going to call it a day. But like I said, anyone who's interested in doing a ceremony for the Black Moon, please let me know. I would love to facilitate that for everyone if people are intrigued by that. Okay. Spirit's really guiding me that that would be powerful for us to do. And that would be a Zoom event. All right. Give us a closing card, some closing energy for this. Okay, that card wanted to come out. Yeah, that was a perfect one. All right. Oh, isn't this interesting? So we had the Speak Your World into Being. And that's first quarter moon in Gemini that came out first. And this is those affirmations. This is talking about yourself, your world, and your relationship to the world in the terms that you want to experience it. Being aware of what words you are using. Are they empowering? Are they disempowering? How can you move into more empowering language? Right? I've shared in several videos lately how lately I've been taking the times when I'm doing something on autopilot, when my mind is wandering, when I'm falling asleep at night, to be saying positive affirmations and really feeling into them. Because when we are in those autopilot activities, when we're getting ready to fall asleep, that's when we are moving into that theta brainwave. And that is the brainwave of the subconscious. That is the brainwave you must access in order to begin to reprogram your subconscious mind, which dictates like 90-something% of your reality. Right? That is most of the brain function is on the subconscious level. So really powerful. And then we have the new moon in Cancer, right? So there's that black moon energy right there. But this is that Cancer. This is that feeling. This is that emotion. But this is also the energy of relaxing. This is that final reminder, just relax into it. Take really good care of yourself. Don't feel like you need to do a million things. And I think this is a really interesting energy right now because so many of us, we're feeling that inspiration. We're feeling that motivation. We're feeling these energies coalescing. We're feeling like the literal dance that our cells are doing right now as everything is being activated and unwound. And it makes us really want to jump into doing a whole bunch of stuff. But we have to take that time to relax as well, to nurture ourselves, to really work with that feminine energy in order to be in that place for receiving and just to support our bodies and every aspect of our being in this massive transformational process that we're undergoing. Then we got the new moon in Gemini. Think it through. And the full moon in Virgo, take inspired action. And with the think it through, what I'm feeling from that energy is that is just more about taking only the inspired actions, because there's so much inspiration coming through right now that we might be like really in that energy of that Aries energy of taking action. And we might want to jump on every single opportunity, jump on everything. Not everything is for us. Not everything is meant to be done right now. Slow your roll is kind of the energy that the universe is saying right now. If you get an opportunity, if you get an offer, give yourself time to feel into it. Don't just jump right into everything. Don't get into that energy. And I do this sometimes too, where you think if you let go of an opportunity, there's not going to be another one behind it. That is still an energy of scarcity and lack. If it's not for me, then it's not for me. All right. I'll give you guys an example of this. I got this offer to join this really, really awesome spiritual radio program, but I had to pay in order to do it. And it wasn't a ton of money, but it just wasn't really, I felt like it was going to stretch me more than I'm trying to be stretched right now. So I had to think about it. And my initial reaction was like, this seems like a really great opportunity. If I don't jump on this, what if I never get an opportunity like this again? And I had to counter that with, what do I really want though? Yes, I want to have an impact. Yes, I want to be able to reach more people, to share the truth and wisdom and whatever spirit wants to flow through me. But like, I also want opportunities that pay me, like, to be honest, you know what I mean? Like I'm calling in my abundance. And so I'm like, universe, bring to me opportunities where people want to pay me, not opportunities where people are asking me to pay them. All right. So it's stuff like that. Like, and it's okay to do that. It doesn't mean that another opportunity is never going to reach you. It just means that you're getting really specific about what you want. It's just like with love, right? You want to manifest love and you call in a partner, and maybe they're really great in some ways, but there's other ways that they're really not compatible with you, or where they're acting out some of the patterns that you decided you wanted to leave behind. So then you get to make a choice. Am I saying this is good enough, which is essentially what I say when I settle for that? Or am I saying, no, you know what? I'm going to send that one back. There's another one that's more aligned coming. All right. That's the energy that we want to be in. So think everything through. Think before you leap. Don't overthink, right? It's like finding that balance of thought and mental energy, and only take the actions that are inspired. The actions that really feed your soul. For me, Spirit was inspiring me to start a membership on this channel. And anyone who's interested in that, there's 3 different levels. There's different extra sort of things for people who are looking for a little bit extra. And I'm really excited to see who's going to take advantage of that. I have been wanting to start my own membership off YouTube for quite some time. I've been, compiling information on how to do it and all of that stuff. It hasn't quite coalesced yet, and Spirit showed me that this was a great stepping stone to get there. And it was like, I wasn't really sure if anyone was going to join, if anyone was interested in that, if like doing it just on YouTube, you know what I mean? There's different various reasons why I haven't done that in the past, but that was the inspired action that I was guided to take. So even though I wasn't sure how much sense it made right now, I decided to go for it. And this is an opportunity. I know that was a very like blasé way to say, like, if you want to join the membership, I think it's going to be really fun when we get people going on that. I'm going to be doing videos just for members, shorts just for members. We're going to do extended live streams. There's a lot of fun stuff that we're going to do with it once that gets going for those who want to be involved. You know what I mean? But it's just like, follow the inspiration. Even if it doesn't make sense, even if it's not your ultimate goal, right? Sometimes, like we said in the live stream the other day, we have to there's steps to get there. And it's okay. We don't have to arrive at the finished product right away. All right. Yeah. See, 3rd house messages. Your soul is speaking to you. All you have to do is pay attention. And these messages are guiding you toward whatever this 10th house energy, this pinnacle for you is. All right. I love you all infinitely. I appreciate you so much. If you want to join the membership, I think there should be a join button right on the channel page. I'll also link it in the comments for anyone who is interested. And yeah, I am getting out the end of year 2025, your year ahead readings. So everyone have patience with me as I move through those. If I do not get to your sign, or you feel like, because I did I've started in some weird places because, like, first of all, I was called to do Sagittarius first, even though I have done a reading for them recently. I'm just going with what I'm called, but I will do all of the signs. All right. So I will get to your sign. I appreciate your patience. I love you so much. Thank you for being here. And yeah, like I said, also let me know if you are interested in doing the Black Moon ritual, and I will get that going. And yeah, if you're interested in working with me one-on-one, all the information to do that is also in the description box below. Much love.